Ever been in a room so quiet you start to hear things? For Dr. Adrian Voss, that silence became his greatest fear. Welcome to the Harrowgate Institute, a remote research school with a history it tried to bury. Freshly hired, Adrian was assigned to the Cognitive Anomalies Department, tucked away in what the staff called the Old Wing, a part of the school where the paint peeled and the air felt unnaturally cold. His new lab was room 312, and the key came with a warning: restricted access. He probably should have asked why. At first, things were normal. Adrian spent his days organizing data and reviewing old experiment logs left by his predecessor, a Dr. Evelyn Merrick, who had vanished 8 years prior. But as the sun went down and the institute emptied, the building came alive. Lights flickered, a strange ozone smell lingered in the air, and a static whisper would hiss from the intercoms. Adrian brushed it off as bad wiring. That was until one night, while reviewing old sleep pattern recordings, he heard it. A voice, clear as day, whispering his name through the static. Adrian, he froze. He muted the audio. The voice stopped. He unmuted it. Silence. But then, a new sound emerged from beneath the static. Faint breathing. The whispers grew bolder, following him down the hallways, slipping under his door. Even the students started avoiding the old wing, complaining about a strange pressure in their ears. One evening, Adrian was working late when the power suddenly died. The red emergency lights cast eerie, bloody shadows on the walls. The intercom crackled to life, and a female voice, distant yet somehow right beside him, whispered, "They're still here." "Who's there?" Adrian called out, his flashlight trembling. No answer, just the slow shuffle of feet from beyond the wall. He cautiously stepped into the hallway and saw wet barefoot prints leading towards the old storage wing. He knew he shouldn't, but he followed them. The prints led him to a heavy steel door that wasn't on any of the school's maps. The biometric lock was dead, but a single light glowed above it. Someone had deliberately rerouted power to this forgotten place. The placard read, "Experiment Room 9B." The name was familiar. He'd seen it in Dr. Marek's old notes, linked to a project called Cognitive Echo Induction. The final report had ended abruptly, with a chilling note scrawled in red ink: "The subjects can still hear themselves." Against his better judgment, Adrian pried the door open with a crowbar. A blast of stale, cold air rushed out. The room was filled with a circle of chairs, each fitted with old headgear and electrodes. The walls were lined with one-way mirrors, reflecting his image back from every angle. But he wasn't alone in the reflection. Behind his image, faint ghostly figures stood motionless. He spun around. The room was empty. He looked back at the mirrors. The figures were still there. Then, one of them slowly raised its hand. Panicked, Adrian stumbled backward, knocking over a metal tray. The sound echoed, stretching and distorting unnaturally. He fled, slamming the heavy steel door behind him. But as he turned to run, the intercom above the door hissed again. "Dr. Voss." The same female voice whispered, right in his ear. "You shouldn't have come here." "Who are you?" he yelled. "What happened to Dr. Merrick?" There was a distorted, chilling pause, and then the reply, "I'm still here." Adrian ran. He didn't stop until he was back in his office. The door locked tight, but the whispers followed, now a chorus of voices coming from every direction. "We never left. You brought us back." He ripped the intercom cables from the wall, but the sound didn't stop. It wasn't coming from the speakers. It was coming from inside his own head. He woke up the next morning at his desk. His colleagues found him pale and trembling, saying he'd been muttering names in his sleep. He laughed it off as overwork, but when he checked the security footage from room 9B, his blood ran cold. The camera had recorded a faint, human shape pacing inside the locked room all night. It wasn't him. But then, at exactly 3:12 a.m., the footage showed him a perfect double of him standing in the center of the room, smiling directly into the camera and whispering. The cycle continues. Adrian tried to leave the institute, but it was no use. He'd experienced blackouts, losing hours at a time. He'd find notes in his own handwriting with phrases he'd never write, like "they hear what we think." His reflection started to lag, blinking a second after he did. One night, as he stared into the bathroom mirror, his own reflection whispered, "It's your turn." He smashed the mirror to pieces. The next day, he found his keycard somehow worked on room 9B again. Inside, one of the 8 chairs from the experiment was now empty. An old report stated the original study had 8 subjects. Trembling, he sat down in the one empty chair. The headset fit perfectly, and the machine hummed to life without any power source. The familiar voice returned, calm and welcoming. "Welcome back, Dr. Voss. Let's continue." The room went dark, and in the mirrors, he saw the 8 ghostly figures watching him. His headset tightened as a chorus of whispers flooded his mind. "You're one of us now." Days later, Dr. Adrian Voss was officially reported missing. His office was found locked from the inside, covered in a thick layer of dust. The only thing out of place was a single, faint handprint on the inside of the mirror. Security footage showed nothing since the night he disappeared. But sometimes, when the institute is quiet, the motion sensors in room 9B still flicker to life at exactly 3:12 a.m., and if you listen closely to the static from the monitors, you can just make out a whisper. "She." He's still listening. Thanks for joining me on this terrifying tale. If you love stories that will keep you up at night, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next descent into the unknown. Stay safe and check your reflections.